So there's one just awkwardly standing there beside you, waiting. They're like, Christian, maybe sniff my hair. And he's just waiting there looking at you. And then Elon's like, come on, man, what's stopping you? All right, another episode of Flipside. Every time we do this, it's like another week's, another one into the books, another one into the chapter. Each time we do this, it's like fun. We're building like a story. We're building the flip side, and eventually, just like Joe Rogan, we might have 1,000 freaking episode. Who knows? But I'm in this for the long run, and yeah, it's been a pretty solid week. I'm sure I'm starting to figure things out. How are things on your end, Christian?
Week's been good. The weekend was alright. Was it hot this weekend? I forget. I don't know. But summer's nearly over. We're nearing into February. Bro, it's already nearly, like, January's nearly finished. Can you believe that? Like, New Year's Day was literally like the other day. Like, what is going on? But new week, we go again. A few things happening here and there. But how's things been in here? And you figuring things out, you saying?
Yeah, it's been good. On that topic that you were saying, yeah, it's pretty crazy how summer's nearly finished. We're past the halfway point for summer. We only have a bit more than 1 month left, and it's pretty crazy how fast summer goes. Now, back in the old days, I used to hate winter, and I used to be so sad when summer ends. But getting into snowboarding, I found a new love for winter. So I found love for both seasons. I guess the only boring parts I have to somehow find a sport or find some interests in the ones in between, like spring and autumn. I need to find sort of cool activities for those two. But I guess those two activities would be best for like hiking and exploring because it's not too hot, not too cold.
Yeah, 100%. I want to go snowboarding. Let's go snow. I haven't been.
Yeah, 100%. We're gonna be. I bought the Epic Pass, which means I could go unlimited amount of times. So I'm definitely getting ready for like 5 trips to the snow, and you can join on a few of those.
Yeah, I'm coming. I'm just coming. I'll just trudge along. You can fit me anywhere, but I've never snowboarded before. Like, you know, when you used to go snow, you used to go like in year 6 camp or whatever, and it's just like, oh, whatever. That was the last time I went to snow, just during camp. And then the other camper we had was like, do you remember like the Great Australian Bush Camp? Did you ever go to that? It was like there was one in like the middle of nowhere. It was like this Uluru shaped building. Do you remember that? That was so bad, bro. The food they feed you there, I swear they feed you like dog food. It's not good at all.
Do you remember that camp where it was like they'll teach you stuff about sex and like drugs and protection and stuff, and at the same time you do like the flying fox, you would like do rock climbing, and you would do like campfires at night and hear your stories, teachers tell stories.
It's like during the day you learn about protection, you learn about UTIs, all the important stuff. Then like the next day, you're literally on a flying fox. You're on the giant swing.
Giant swing.
You're getting fed dog food for lunch.
Yeah, or you're on the tightrope doing the thing. Yeah.
The discos at night, and then you'd have
yes.
Oh, dude, what a funny time! School was a funny time.
Adolescence. Dude, when I watch like Rick and Morty and I see like how horny Morty is, I'm like, damn, like that used to be us. That used to be us when we were 14, 15, 16, like these like freaking angsty teens. Like it's a term for a reason.
I was gonna say, yeah, young and angsty teens, except I feel like Morty needs to be revered as a god. Morty's a god. Like it's just, look at him, bro. Like, he's just a beautiful, beautiful human. Like, yeah, you can't say Morty's angsty, but it's weird to think.
Dude, if like Khalid popped off during high school with his initial album, like the Location album, like dude, the level of angst would be next level. Like that's like the epitome of angst, that like album. Like I love it though.
It's a good album, but yeah, 100%. He was still heaps young anyway. Like he was 19 when he dropped it. Like, geez, he's 19 when he dropped that, and then 3 years he's gonna be singing about more heartbreak. He's gonna be like The Weeknd. Did you see The Weeknd's face, by the way?
I've seen one of his music video where it was like all plastic surgery up.
Yeah, I don't know what happened or what, but apparently he just plastic surgery and he's got like hella plastic surgery on his face to be like for a music video or something.
Yeah, but it can't be real. It can't be like permanent, can it?
No, I think it's real, but I think it's temporary.
Wow.
Yeah, so I don't think that it's permanent. But
whoa.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Whoa. So it's not like face, like it's not like makeup and like padding and stuff. It's real.
That's yeah, but apparently it's temporary. But like,
Whoa.
why would anyone do that? Like, what sort of music video would you be making?
And
That you,
whenever
yeah,
I think about that, I'm like, we forget that the fact that we're talking about it made it work.
that's true. That's true. I mean, he's already got all the attention that he needs. Right? What is the last time he? Oh no, he dropped an album recently, but that's The Weeknd for you, bro. You want to start crying? You start listening to The Weeknd.
Dude, I
That's
can't
how it
believe
works.
he was like dating the Victoria's Secret model Bella Hadid. Must be good. Must be good to be a singer.
Money talks, bro. Money talks. When you start hosting these parties in US, I'll come over, bro. I'll come
100%
over.
in LA. Oh man, LA.
The US live. Speaking of the US, Donald Trump has actually asked to lift travel bans in America as of now. So he's attempting to lift it. So I think people from
How does he
overseas
still have
can
power? How the hell does he still have power?
I don't know when he exactly like leaves his admission, but essentially he's essentially lifted the sort of travel bans effective on January 26th, right? So, but then the thing is, because you know how he's going to be leaving soon, so he's leaving his administration soon, and then Joe Biden's going to come in, and apparently Biden's going to put the restrictions back on. So it's just like there's just a lot of mind games going on. I feel at the moment it's just like a measuring contest. Who's bigger, who can do this. It's like Trump still feels like he's in power even after losing the election. Then people storming the Capitol, and we didn't get to talk about that much. But like, imagine that happens here. That would never happen. People get shot down. People get shot. If that was any other race, I reckon they would have got shot down. What do you reckon?
Yeah, that's true. If it was a different race, like a lot of protesters might have got shot and died for sure. I totally agree with that. But like whenever I look at American politics, you see all these like sort of big families, like the Bush family, the this and that family. You see all these sort of people with like long heritage of just like presidents. You see like business moguls like Trump. You see like super highly educated people. And then when you look at like people in the freaking Australian sort of thing, it's just a bunch of like policemen, a bunch of teachers that somehow like they just like became a principal and they're like, fuck this, I want to join the freaking join the
Politics,
politician, become a politician. Or you see freaking lawyers and stuff like.
Yeah, that's so true. I never thought about it like that. Like all American leaders in the past have been like from distinguished families or names and like business moguls. Imagine Elon Musk the next president. Imagine Kanye West the president. Imagine people actually voted for Kanye. Oh.
So I can't believe he's breaking up with Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, I mean his tweets have been quite. The guy's crazy. Well, he tweeted something about like their relationship being like, "Oh, Kim's trapping me," or "Kim's letting me do this." Like, what is wrong with you? This guy, like, he's clearly like bipolar and suffering from bipolar disease, right? So, okay, well, maybe I should take a step back. But like, this guy, like, I just don't think he like fully comprehends what he's doing and the impact that it has on the real people around him. Like, you're about to lose Kim Kardashian, bro. Like, just take it easy. Just take it easy. Don't lose Kim. Don't lose Kim.
Dude, him and Donald Trump are like on the same spectrum of like crazy. And they're like crazy for a reason. Like, is this true? I don't know. Like, I headline read, but Donald Trump has been impeached twice for
second time.
So he's the first ever president that has been impeached twice, and if you're impeached twice, you can no longer apply to be president again or something, or you lose like all like income from like residuals from being a president. Is that true or something?
Yeah, dude. Like, he got banned off every social media app. He got banned
No way.
off Twitter. He got banned off Snapchat. I think just banned him. He got banned off Facebook. Like, it got so big that like all the big heads, Mark Zuckerberg and then the Twitter head, had to come out and publicly say,
But when did he say that was bad on Twitter?
It's just how he's essentially becoming how do I say this? He's not advocating for like, the behavior of the protesters, etc. He's not advocating for it, but he's not so much as telling them to stop. He's essentially being like, yes, fight for your freedom, fight for your right, and do that. Like, how they stormed it? He goes, yes, Americans are just fighting for the truth. Like, what is wrong with you? Why would you willingly try and push the people of the public to go and like storm the Capitol, and then you saw the Confederate flag being waved inside. You saw some bloke like walking out of the building with the what was it, the stand or something? He had like some president-elect stand or something, and he's just walking out of the, like, and Trump never really openly said don't do it. He just said Americans are Americans, they're fighting for their rights, I can't stop them. And he got banned everywhere. Like, what did you think was gonna happen? You fool. You know what I mean? Like, oh, god damn it.
So I'm curious to see what his next move is. Like, where do you go from here? Like, is this like a part of like some master plan, or is he just going to disappear in the next few years?
True. What is next for Trump? Like,
because he's going down in the books for sure. Like,
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
He's done it in a way. I don't know if he's purposely done that or subconsciously happened, but he's going down in the books. I don't know how this is going to help him business-wise and all the moves he's done, but he must be crazy for some reason. There's something planned for sure, I reckon.
Part of me thinks that obviously these antiques and these crazy happenings everywhere, part of me thinks that he just wants to be like going down in history, but like he's so smart because no matter what he does after, there's going to be eyes on everything he does. I mean, he's in such a fortunate position where he'll just go and turn to the business, or he'll try and do something, or like, because what does Obama do now? I don't know what Obama does now specifically, but I know he's like an advocate for politics in America in the sense that he does talks. I know he wrote a book. I know that he's like doing stuff, but I don't know what he's doing in that sense. You know what I mean? Like, exactly. I doubt Trump would ever go down that route and be like a political ambassador for America and America rights. There's no way. That guy's a selfish dog.
Dude, I legit think maybe it's what they say, all attention is like good attention, like no matter it's bad or good. And I think when he's at that level, when you get more eyeballs, more people knowing who you are, with all his business, everything just goes up. So I'm starting to understand that. For example, like when I was starting business, I didn't understand how like more views would equal more money, but I just focused on more, for example, more sales. Then eventually I focused on more sort of bookings, and then as I grew, rather than focus on more bookings, I focused on more views on my social media. Then eventually you can freaking become like Nike and just focus on just like eyeballs. And like maybe Trump is at a level where the more havoc he causes, his business somehow just goes up because he just gets more attention. I don't know.
Yeah, more attention, more eyes on him. Would you imagine Trump comes out with a brand and he just names it Trump, or just something, Trump clothing or something?
Have you seen Trump steak? Insane. And there's like funny memes and ads about it.
Trump steak?
Yeah.
I've never heard of them, but like imagine he comes up with any business he creates, even if it's just like Trump clothing or Trump steaks. Wow. Because he owns the Trump Tower anyway. But like imagine he comes out with a clothing line or something that could like say, because he has all the resources in the world to compete with a brand like Nike, right? Imagine he creates a brand that competes with Nike.
That's true. Like, it would work. Imagine that. It would pop off.
People would buy it because it's Trump clothing, it's Trump wear. Dude, I'd buy a piece. I'd buy a piece.
It will legit turn into a meme. Like freaking people of culture will just start wearing it just for the memes. Like Kanye is going to wear it, then a bunch of other people are going to wear it. So not only are his OG supporters going to wear it, but everyone's just going to make a meme out of it and buy and support Trump clothing.
And he'd be smart. He'd have the power to collaborate with whoever he wants to.
Yeah.
Trump X Supreme, Trump X Nike, Trump X Adidas, Trump X Kanye.
He collaborated with NELK Boys. Do you know NELK Boys?
Yeah. I heard about that. So what did he do?
Yeah, I think like it was just before the votings. He just sort of said hello to them, met them for like a few minutes, met them with Dana White, and it was just like full YouTube to just get eyeballs, and then, you know, to campaign, what do you call it, campaign parade or campaign sort of.
That's so
rounds.
Smart. So smart, bro. Especially the NELK Boys with the audience that they hold.
Yeah.
The audience they hold might not be of voting age, but maybe the other 40% of them who are of voting age would be like, yeah, this guy's sick. I'll vote for him, bro.
Yeah.
Like he came on the NELK Boys, you know. I'll vote for him. Like, that's how different America is in terms of the influence people have over it. But now I want a Trump X Nike hoodie, bro. I don't know. I'll just do that.
Dude, a Trump like sweater, that'd be dope. I'd wear it, or like a Trump like dad cap.
Yeah. Thing is, because the branding that you're familiar with Trump is like big bold writing which screams his name and presence. So it's like a huge Trump
So
written in
obnoxious.
white.
You know
written
the
in
font. Like I know the word
Yeah.
Trump, and I only visualize it with one font. I don't visualize it with any other font.
It's like big white and blocks, right?
Yeah. Block text, like Arial capital letters or something. It's like simple Arial and capital, Arial all caps.
There, bang, right there.
Yeah, that's it.
Right there. When you think of Trump, you think of that. If a sweater came out wearing, actually, depends, because I think I'd only buy it after a while when the Trump sort of stigma dies down and he dies away into the business empire that he would essentially cultivate around him. Because right now, you wear that, you'll get shot. Maybe not in Australia, but maybe in America, right? So maybe like later. Actually, now I'm thinking about the connotations about owning a Trump. I'd still buy it. I don't know if I'd own it. You know what I mean? Because it's one of those things.
Dude, for some reason, like everything like aligns. Like for example, the Trump logo. I'm just looking at it right now. It's like weirdly like swashed and fat, and it just looks like him. Like the font he's chosen, it looks like him. Like this sort of wide figure. Like everything just like is like correlated. His font is specifically chosen for him.
I know what you mean. Like it's just Trump. Like you just look at that font and you don't think of it as a font. You just think of Trump.
Yeah,
It's squished.
Trump's
It's
font.
like sort of
Fat.
elongated on its width. Yeah, it's
like
fat.
him.
It's got the MAGA on it. And then he was smart to make the hats as well. That was a smart idea. And then he like sided with Kanye. This is actually going to go down in history in terms of one of the most sort of, because he started in 2017, right? So one of the most controversial presidents in the world. Like no one in the world wanted him, but he came, he saw, and
It was
did
legit
whatever.
like a movie where he got elected. People were like, did this
There's no
really
way.
happen?
Yeah.
Did this really happen? That's what went through people's minds.
What was his big campaign? His big thing that got him in was building the wall, building the wall across Mexico.
Yes, I remember
So
that.
what's going on in the wall? Is a war going on? Or
Yeah, I think
our
it's-
American friends, please help us out. Let us know, is a war going on? I wonder.
Dude, have you seen on TikTok that there's all these super funny memes of his son? Like people thirst over his son. There's like all these
Because he's like an adolescent male.
and he's like he has this like angsty anger vampire vibe to him. So people thirst over his son.
And then that's him. Yeah, I remember at his coronation ceremony where he's standing there like that. And then his wife is just a stupid idiot as well. She doesn't know what she's doing. There's just no hope. So funny. So funny.
So I heard apparently his wife, is it Melania?
I think Melina?
She has like she has like a degree. She's like a lawyer or something. She's like a.
You're lying.
Yeah, apparently she's educated.
You're lying. No
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
No way. Oh.
She's like not just. Dude, I can't believe Trump like freaking had sex with what's that porn star, Alexis Texas. Oh no, another one.
No way.
And then she like legit went on a news like on James Corden or something, be like, I had sex with Trump. It wasn't too good.
No, I don't know, but that's a bit weird. It is a bit weird, but yeah, there you go. That's Donald Trump. What would you do?
Stormy Daniels.
Stormy Daniels?
Yeah.
How did this podcast come to this?
I reckon Trump is like no, I don't support him, but he's like an icon. He's gonna be like a cultural icon where he's like in the future people are gonna think like he's like the edgy freaking like rock star that became like a freaking president. Yeah, he's just gonna be a thing.
Because do you know what he's gonna do after? He's gonna make an autobiography. He can make a documentary. He could make a movie. His name and brand will keep selling and keep no matter what happens. Like Obama. If Obama makes a documentary, everyone will watch it. Like Barack Obama's wife, Michelle Obama, started a podcast, and like that podcast is huge. And it's like just all it takes, just some eyes on you, and that's it.
It's pretty crazy that once you become president, you're like set. Like Obama is set for the rest of his life. He might slowly die out and his relevancy might decrease, but he gained so much attention just from winning.
Yeah, and no matter what, like there'll always be a demand for your services or your face or your name or just your image somewhere. Like someone will obviously do that. So there's always I mean, it's easy to say you're set, but like if you become the president of the United States, I mean, like I wonder if the mindset of the people that are running for presidency thing. Do they want it because they care for the job and they want to do well for the country, or do they just want it for their 3 years of fame? Or like these guys are old men. Joe Biden's an old man. Like, why do you want presidency? Like, what are you going to do with it? Like, why would you want to be the president?
Dude, I legit think it's like a mix of everything, like the fame, the legacy, the business that's gonna come to you, the power to change things within your own country, as well as your own ego, thinking that you know what's right for the country. I think it's like a mix of everything. But becoming president, like for some reason, like in Australia, like I don't like becoming president of Australia, like never ever crossed my mind. When I was younger, I wanted to do, but like now it's like too much. Not like a joke, but it's like preschool. Becoming freaking president in America, that's something I might consider. Like that sounds pretty fun.
Because you attach the presidency in America to the presidency of the world in essence. That's what you attach it to, and that's why it's more lucrative, and that's more like, yeah, it's something that you just be much more intrigued in. You know what I mean? But like, what would you do as your first tenure as the president? What would you do? Dude,
I know
exactly what I'd do.
Let me think. What would be the first thing?
I know exactly what I'd do. I'd go straight into Area 51. I just want to tell me everything.
Dude, yeah, 100%. I'd look at the aliens. I'll look at all the freaking secret papers, everything. I'd sort of get to know the CIA, see what's like there, where the bases are, and like see if
the
secret agents are real and stuff, and talk to spies.
Yeah, Secret Service, MI, whatever it is, and then all that, and then I just go to Area 51 and I'll just be like, tell me everything, because I don't think the president's just like a big figurehead. I wonder who really, like the people that really run the president, or like, you know, run the affairs, national affairs, everything. It's all the back staff and everything. They tell him what should be done, what their advice is and everything, and then he just like, he either agrees with them. I don't know about Trump because he's a bit of a
yeah, dude, for some reason I feel like Trump does not know anything about secrets. Look at his face. I don't know if he knows it. Like maybe there is no freaking secrets, no Area 51, because like if there was, he'd be like yapping his mouth, or he'd be like pretty calm or like mellowed out, seeing how much he found out. But he's just like himself. He's just like crazy. He's like not, it's not like as if he, because when you see crazy shit, you sort of like become silent and become like, oh, there's a lot of things going behind the scenes. But he's just like himself.
But I also think that's like part of the fact that because he was such a business mogul before, that he probably would have seen some shady go down in terms of just true. like Epstein. Deals go down. Yeah, like right? Like, yeah, you said it yourself. Like, I don't know. I feel like he could have been like sort of like immune to it, but yeah, I'd want to know everything. I'd want to know exactly how it works. That's why I started listening to Michelle Obama's podcast, hoping for some juicy hints and stuff. Yeah. Right now, she didn't let out anything, bro. She's holding out. She's holding out. I want to know.
Damn. Dude, imagine being like the son of like Barack Obama and be like, hey dad, so like are there any aliens in Area 51, or is there any freaking invisible spacecrafts that you guys know? That would be dope. And like my dad, like if I was Obama's son, he wouldn't mind telling his son, or maybe he would keep it a secret. What do you think?
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. That's a big thing though, because like if you tell your children, it's inevitable that your children will tell like their friends, and then they'll just tell their friends like, oh, don't tell anyone, it's like it's a secret. You know, it's like, oh, Andy, don't tell him, it's a secret, bro, this is like the biggest secret in the world, and it eventually just becomes like a rumor or a myth, and that's how all these things start. You know what I mean? But I wouldn't trust anyone. If I became president, I wouldn't trust my children with any secrets. Nah, they can actually. I worked hard to get to where I was, okay? I'm not giving the secrets of the country up. No way.
Dude, high school is such a meme where like freaking John's told me not to tell anyone, but I'm just going to tell you, don't tell anyone. John told me to tell no one, but I'm just telling you, so keep it a secret, don't tell anyone. And then you hear, that's like so freaking hypocritical. Like I would not trust a person that says something like that.
The minute it says that, like someone said to you in high school, like, I have a huge secret, but like promise me you won't tell anyone. you already knew that you're going to break that oath and that promise, and you're already going to go and tell the next person. And you're already with the minute that you hear it, you just know in your head who you're going to be telling next. Like, it's sick. I'm going to go and tell them straight away, but I'll tell them, and I'll trust them that they're not going to tell anyone. It's a train reaction. It's so naive and stupid idiots, bro. High school is where trust is. There's no sense of trust. This is why we all have trust issues, because of high school.
I remember, I heard this story at my old workplace. Everyone, all the boys were chilling at some party, and then one of the boys were like not there yet, or left early with this girl. And all the boys were like, oh, what is he doing? And one of the younger, naive kids were like, didn't you know? And everyone's like, what? I didn't know that. Like, what? I didn't know that. And then like it just started spreading. It spread between all the co-workers, and somehow then the managers started finding out. The managers had to do like a meeting with the two sort of people, the two couple that were, having, and like it became a whole thing from that one young naive kid being like,
imagine that. Oh my god, this is why when you work in like places like this as a casual, you just see the dumbest. You can easily get surrounded by some idiots, bro. Some stupid. They don't understand the implications of something so simple as to like the domino effect it can have onto other people and around them, because that little comment just could have got some people fired. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's something as simple as that. It's just like, oh god, it's a skill that some people have to learn. Isn't that right?
Just thinking about it, I feel like the workplace, the 9 to 5, thrives off that freaking. If someone turns a small comment into this freaking major thing, like that's pretty scary on how something small can turn into so major. Like one comment, freaking all the managers somehow knew. Like what the.
It's incredibly regulated now. It's so regulated, but in the case of, say, your business, should your business continue to grow, and then you hire some people into your business onshore, not offshore, onshore, and say they're working directly under you, and you have say that you have a level 5 in Parramatta Square or something, in one of the new high-rise buildings. You're level 5, so you occupy the space, and you walk around and you see everyone, and all your team is there, right? And that's when all these issues are happening, and that's when HR have a bigger issue, and that's why you realize, okay, yeah, I need to regulate it, because there's so many other things that happen should something so small like that happen. It sounds like a joke, but like, think about it from a business owner perspective. Like, obviously not a huge business, but you looking down at your own business, you wouldn't want the integrity of your business or the performance of your business suffering because of said issues. Like, what would you do? How would you handle it? Would you be the cool boss and be like, yeah, that's all right? Or would you like enforce legislation and be like, nah?
Dude, I think so. Sort of growing my team, my sort of sense, my sixth sense has become so strong, because I've sort of had the freaking employees that just jump to the gun and just assume things, and then when I jump on a three-way call, it's the complete opposite. It's just a misunderstanding. So I used to take things for as said, because I would hear something, I would get pissed, I would fix it, and then I find out that the issue wasn't as big as that person said it to be. Then now I sort of just don't trust anything, and now I'm starting to get to a point where I could sort of not trust things and know if something is probably miscommunicated, and if something is pretty correct based on like the gut feeling I get. For example, actually I'm not going to use an example for my own company.
Don't do that. Yikes, bro. No.
But like I could sort of sense if an issue is real, I could sort of sense it now, and if an issue is sort of just like coming out of just like anger or out of emotions, I could sense that as well, so I could treat different sort of situations differently. But if something like that happened, the previous scenario of my previous job, I reckon like as a boss, I'll try like go straight to the root cause and just shut it down to okay, just want to check in to see if everything's okay, make sure that you guys are happily working, there isn't sort of any sort of abuse or anything. Let's try keep it on the low key and get back to work.
100%, and make sure work's number one priority here, because like, yeah, if you had that chill conversation, I feel like it's a lot easier to manage expectations of employees. But other than that, on the other side, you can get exploited. People can exploit you.
Yeah.
And no one wants to be exploited. Have you been exploited? I haven't been exploited.
I don't
Because
think
remember
I
last
have.
episode or something, you said that people said you were too nice. Are you worried that you can get exploited for being too nice? And like going out and like going out of your way for some people when you could be getting like scammed, or you could be getting like, you know, like exploited by them.
Dude, I came from like that freaking young Asian kid from high school that was picked on, that was not the cool kid, the one that was like freaking, the teachers did not like spend any time to look on. And like freaking, if I had, you know, I brought LCMs to school, I was now the coolest kid, and I thrived over that attention, and it disappeared the moment the LCMs were gone. And I sort of learned from all those. I sort of grew thick skin, where like now I'm just like pretty upfront, pretty like valuable with my time, who I spend it with. Like if I know something's not going to be any ROI and it's just going to be like casual, like fake small talk, I'm just going to not do it. So I'm pretty like selective with sort of how I spend my time and sort of what I do with it, because I've been in so many energy draining situations where after it I'm like, I don't feel any better, I don't feel any worse. I shared a lot of things, but when I try to ask some questions and learn new things for myself, that person was a closed box. What the?
And it's like, yeah, those are the worst. When you go to something like a hangout and like you don't feel better or worse or anything, or like you might have had a decent time, but you think about it, it's like, okay, yeah, like I just felt like it was completely one-sided, or like I didn't gain anything from that. In the sense that obviously we're not saying here that every catch-up needs to gain something from it, but like just the feeling that you get after is like, yeah, that was good, you know, I didn't waste my time, you know, I enjoyed it or whatever. But like I'm just thinking of so many scenarios that 100% that's so true. And it's just like, yeah, it's not that I'm in a position to say that my time's more valuable than other people, but it's more so that managing your own time and like just being honest to yourself at the same time. You're like, okay, yeah, like why would you go out of your way to like please someone or do something for someone when you know that you'd never get that respect or that recognition, etc., responded or reciprocated to you as well? You know what I mean? It's just basic shit like that I'm just like learned as well. Like I haven't developed like a thick skin towards it, I'd say, yet, but yeah, I can agree with that. I can see that.
And then like what I really learned, like I really love hanging with people who are sort of better than me. They have more to share. But then I sort of realized the hypocrisy where it's probably a similar situation when I sort of hang out with them. I have little to nothing to give and they have more things to give. And that's why I sort of repay with a lot of respect, appreciation, and I sort of try to give back when I sort of hang out with people who are more better than me. But it sort of makes sense because like I'm sort of like in their position. I'm sort of like just like wanting to hang out with them, but I'd like to think I'm not too difficult to hang out with. But I sort of see that how when certain people they do want to hang out, it's like pretty like one-sided. And if they're not fun to hang out with, I'm going to say no in the future, or I'm going to like swerve it. But when I go ahead and hang out with other people who are better than me, I love hanging out with people who know more than me, who are a few steps ahead of me. But I also have to really remember that from their perspective, they're hanging out with someone that's a few steps below them and they're not getting as much out of it, or for their hour, not only is their time worth more, but now they're hanging with someone where they're just sort of giving and sharing information and not getting much in return. So I have to really keep that in mind, because I think, and then after seeing that I was like, holy shit, if I sort of fell into that trap where I couldn't realize that, then everyone else that I'm complaining about is at fault of the same mistake that I am at.
Yeah, I think what you need to also realize is like stay true to yourself in the sense that don't sell yourself out either. Because I haven't been in a situation where because obviously you're talking about very different things, right? So like for me, I've never been in a situation where like, oh, I know that, except for when I'm hanging out with you. Yeah. I'm such a simple-minded simpleton, a peasant.
No, you're not.
Anyway, so like, I the only thing I'd say is like just don't sell yourself out in the sense that don't like tie the hair up, don't get on the knees or anything. You know what I mean? Like, just stay true to yourself. Because at the end of the day, the one thing that everyone doesn't like, unless you're like sadistic and you enjoy like watching or having people kiss your ass all the time, like just, oh yeah, there's a nice kiss yeah, like, oh, I feel if I, because you could easily just get used and abused, as I say, in the sense that you can just give yourself so much to someone and then not give anything to you. So you got to be able to manage that expectation and like understand. I think you've managed it, because I know from what you told me you've managed it, but it's always something to keep in mind, because no one likes a kid. No one likes a kid. No one wants to be a kisser either. Yeah.
It's like a fine line, like, and it's weird. You have to like do it differently for different levels, because I realized that what I sort of do only works for people that are like older than me, that are like when I do all the respect, being really nice. But when I do that with people around my age, it seems like I'm being too nice or being like evil or something. So I recently realized that, where but then at the same time I really don't give a because
you change.
me being appreciative, like I'm not going to stop that, because that's like sort of in my nature. I sort of treat people with like the way I sort of expect to be treated. But listening to this comedian, he told me this. He said this funny story. But Christian, are there some celebrities or some like big figures that you really sort of look up to, or you really like learn from? I guess like Elon Musk can be one of them.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'd say Elon Musk, and there's another that comes to mind, but yeah.
And then who else do you reckon?
There's like soccer players, etc. That's about it. Like Cristiano Ronaldo, like he's insane, right? But like, yeah.
So let's say
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk and Cristiano Ronaldo sends you a text like, "Hey Christian," and it's like a text at like 3 a.m. They're like, "Hey, do you want to come over? We're just like chilling in our jacuzzi." How are you gonna reply? It's Elon Musk.
Nah, bro, I'm sleeping. I need to sleep. No way. I think only like 1 or 2 people have messaged me asking to like meet up at 3 a.m. or whatever, and that's only like close friends or whatever. But other than that, like, nah, brother, I'm sleeping. Ain't no way. What?
Now let's say you said yes, and now you're in the jacuzzi with like Elon Musk and Ronaldo. And let's say they do something crazy, like, I don't know how far. What's something that's crazy but doesn't cross the line for this podcast?
Let's say that they hired dancing cocaine midgets.
Let's say they did that, and there's these like midgets like dancing and stuff, and they're like smoking off their heads, and they're like, they're sniffing all the off these midgets' heads, and they're like, Christian, you want to join in? And this is Ronaldo and Elon Musk. He's doing, what are you gonna do? You're naked. You're not naked. You're half naked in the jacuzzi with them.
How many midgets are there? Are there like 4 little midgets running around?
There's like 3 for you, 3. Okay. So there's one just awkwardly standing there beside you, waiting. They're like, Christian, maybe sniff my head, and he's just waiting there looking at you. And then Elon's like, come on, man, what's stopping you? And you're in this massive mansion, this giant mansion. It looks like Tony Stark's house, and the jacuzzi is so nice and warm. It's the perfect temperature, and the Ronaldo's like,
yeah, I'd do it. Elon told me to do it. Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm sniffing that coke off that little head.
Yeah, so I got the story. This guy named Bobby Lee, he said like a similar scenario where his friend was like, hey, do you want to join me with Leonardo and Toby Maguire? We're so just kicking it in this jacuzzi. And Bobby Lee was like, no, I'm good. I'll just drive home, after he dropped off his friend. And the reason why he declined it was he was scared that maybe they'll be doing some gay, like they might be like, I don't know, like hooking up or like each other off. He was just scared to be in that situation in case he had to do it. And I was like, that's like a pretty funny story, but at the same time I was like, pretty like, whoa.
Especially because like, with all the rumors or the myths, not the myths, what is it, like the what do they call it, like stories that aren't true or something, like I don't
conspiracies
know.
Or
conspiracies, especially with all the conspiracies out there about like what the really, really high end people get up to in the nighttime, or like what they enjoy in their pastime. We're talking about our favorite Jeffrey Epstein and his island and all that, and we're talking like big conspiracies, right? Yeah, that's something that 100% would trigger alarm bells. Because if Leonardo DiCaprio called you, okay, let's say Leonardo DiCaprio and Elon Musk, and they called you at 3 a.m. at night, I know you'd go. I know you'd 100% go because you gotta find it. I'd 100% go as well, right? I'd go as well.
No, you initially said no. You initially said nah, I'm good.
Like it depends on the story. Like if it's 3 a.m., no way. If it's 10 p.m., yeah, bro, let's go. How many midgets are there? Which one's mine? You know what I mean?
I'd go.
Just a disclaimer. I'm no midgets were harmed in the production of this podcast episode, or we're not into midgets. It's just, look, we respect all forms of humans and midgets, and yeah. So you'd definitely go. You'd 100% go.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't know what would happen, but I'd go.
And the main thing is that you know that you went, and even if it was just chill, it'd be like, yeah, it was sweet. You know, you met Leonardo Dicaprio, you met someone else, it'd be chill. But should something crazy happen, what do you do? And it's like huge. It can do, and then like, say you enter the place and they're like, enter the hallway, like enter the room, or enter the house, and then like the security there, and like, in order to get in, you have to sign an NDA or non-disclosure, and you put your phone down. Like, okay. Then what? Do you turn around or do you go in?
So I'll be like, okay, take my phone, that's okay. So I'll give them my phone, and I'm like prepping myself for like some weird stuff that might be happening. But I give up my phone and I sign the NDA after I see like some famous people in the background.
Yeah, 100%. And that's when you need the new, like, you know how Apple are wanting to create like glasses, which like smart glasses. That's when Apple should come out and release that. That's when. Anyway, we're in a very, very deep rabbit hole right now. We need to shovel our way out, I think.
Dude, that was a pretty solid topic. I reckon this was like a good episode. One thing I want to talk about is like, it makes sense why all these celebrities are pretty like crazy, because like I think the reason why they have this crazy taste and crazy things they want to do is because they have to become so many different people. Yeah. Like when you act and you literally become someone else, and that's like mentally not normal. Like we're not supposed to have many identities. Like that's like, I'm like surprised that they can have their own identity and can be normal. And they don't get to a place where they don't know who they are after acting and being so many different types of people. Like how do you like not be confused who you are after you play a character for 10 seasons, for example?
Actually, that's so true, because even as a general audience would view it, they'd essentially correlate the character to your personality. So give me a show, any show. Friends. You associate the person. Friends is actually a really good one. Because the personalities that they have on Friends, different. I don't know how many people. How many friends are in Friends? 6 or 5? 5. So you got 5 different friends, and the personalities that they have on screen, they maintained and developed and grew that personality on screen personality, mind you, and developed it and did it together between like 5 of them. They managed to maintain the humor, maintain the vibes and connection, and the synergy, etc. They kept that for like however long they did it, years and years and years. And eventually, how do you not subconsciously try and like take those personality traits which you developed for that role, for that character, away from that? And how does that not become a part of you? And how does Ross, say the actor for Ross, David Schumer? How does the actor David Schumer not come away with some personalities from Ross? It should be inevitable. You'd think it should be, right? Like it's crazy to think, like method acting, like that's, because it's weird, eh?
The crazy thing is, on top of that, people then enforce those personalities. They expect Joey or Matt LeBlanc to be this stupid, light-headed person when that's not him in real life. He's like a smart, normal person, and like. They have struggles. Like they literally can't act in any other movies or any other shows, because when they see like, why is Monica in this dark movie and why is she a cop? They just see her as Monica. They don't see her as this different character. Only a few people have been able to successfully break out. For example, like I think like How I Met Your Mother, Robin. She's like in Marvel now. She sort of like broke out. There's like very few people that have been able to break out of TV shows and then change their personality and persona completely, and not get stuck to being Ross from Friends forever.
I agree. TV series, like actors are predominantly starring TV series, although must say, recently we're seeing a big shift in the quality of production in TV series, where you're seeing big name actors coming into the game for a Netflix original series. You have Queen's Gambit, the lead in the Queen's Gambit. I don't know her name, I think Annie or something. I don't know. The lead for the Queen's Gambit is in a number of movies as well. So you're seeing that shift come, but I get what you were saying. There's not many, say, movie stars which are like, oh, bang. I'll give you one that didn't really work out. Rupert Grint, Ron Weasley in Harry Potter. Name 2 other movies he's in. I personally can't. Obviously, some of his fans would be able to name it, but I can't name 2 other movies because he's distinctly created that role for himself. People aren't able to essentially associate him with any other roles. One person that did do well from Harry Potter is Emma Watson. She's in a lot of different movies. She's able to do it. But the best, I think, is Leonardo Dicaprio. Yes. That guy's actually insane. Not many people realize the personalities that he draws on and the acting that he does. When he was Jordan Belfort in Wolf of Wall Street, into Django Unchained, like these are eccentric, heavy personality characters where you're getting all these, the meme templates that you use are half of them are Leonardo DiCaprio, and that's just him acting. Oh, it's insane. It's insane to think about now that you actually mention it. Like, God. Yeah, that's probably why they do some weird, right?
Dude, I feel like Leo definitely, like, he's definitely like, there's some like freaking Hollywood like underground like crazy happening. He's probably seen a lot of crazy, like you can tell that like the way how he's just really reserved. Like even the Brad Pitts and Angelina Jolie, like I feel like they're like real like reserved. They have this like happiness, this like face. They have the Hollywood face where like behind the scenes, definitely like they've seen some crazy shit happen. And it's like how can you, dude? You know how I get creeped out by the old man that stares at me? I don't know if we've mentioned that on this podcast, but we'll save that for another story. But basically, I have this old next door neighbor that just stares at me naked. Pretty crazy. It's pretty creepy. Now imagine all these celebrities that have thousands or hundreds of people, or like every day there's like 5 people outside their house. Like how would they feel? That's pretty scary.
That's traumatizing, dude. Like at the end of the day, they're still people. Obviously, like it's hard to be able to differentiate that because we revere them as, you know, untouchables or like, you know, some
non-touchables.
Yeah, like some products from God in the sense that God's crafted him with his own bare hands, etc. You know what I mean? But like, yeah, it's weird to think that they're still humans at the end of the day and they just want to get by their own day-to-day. But yeah, that'd be so weird. Yeah, I know what you mean. The Hollywood face, like they're so reserved. Brad Pitt looks like he doesn't have a personality, but in the movies he's like all over it. Like DiCaprio as well, like just weird people.
Because when I close my blinds so the old man can't stare at me, I'm now living in darkness, and like I prefer to have the windows open for light to go in. So it must suck being like a freaking celebrity where you're just living in darkness.
100%. There's I don't know, there's probably a few people that do this, but there's a rapper in the UK, and what he does is he always wears he has a mask. He's notoriously known for just wearing a face mask everywhere he goes, and he's everywhere he goes. He does interviews in the mask. He does everything, and his reason is literally, I want privacy. I don't want people knowing where I go. I don't want to go to the shops, and I don't want to get mobbed. I don't want people waiting outside my home, and that's what, like, he's really good. Obviously, I enjoy him, but in the sense that, yeah, isn't it crazy to think like he's had to resort to that stage of wearing a mask everywhere he goes. I'm not talking a face mask. I'm talking like a full face covering, like a random mask. But I mean, I think it's also down to social media as well. But
because like starting to like have friends that are in the influencer space, like being famous isn't all what it meant to be. Like for example, like me, like I've had like maybe like once every like 6 months there'll be one random person that knows me, and I'll be like, oh wow, okay, like don't know me, you're the guy that does like ecom. I'll be like, oh shit, that's super cool. And it's like this nice feeling. It's like, okay, cool, I'm recognized, I'm noticed. But like eventually it just gets sick and boring, and eventually it becomes creepy.
You're at the start. It's
fun. The start's always amazing. So I can just stay low key for the rest of my life, take my face off, and just like focus on studying.com and detach my face from it.
I agree, and I think that's a good way to draw the curtains on today's episode. I think that we covered a lot of things today, but it always starts off fun. But you know, I get what you mean. You want to draw the curtains on it. You want to get away from the old naked guy that stares at. And if anyone thinks we're joking, I haven't seen it firsthand, but I've seen enough to know that it's not a lie. Where there's a lot of video proof, and it's yeah. We'll end the episode there.
That was a pretty good outro, pretty smooth. You used several metaphors on closing the curtain to the episode, like what you did there. But yeah, this was like a solid episode. We really got into the flow. Yeah, I always love doing this. Really appreciate those who are listening. So you guys drop your comments below because we'll start reading your comments on new episodes.
Also, guys, don't forget to check out Andy My Clips. Some of the podcast clips are there. So for those of you who obviously don't watch the whole thing, we do break it down in segments in the timestamps in the description below. But Andy My Clips will be linked to below, where there's just quick 30-second clips of us just having a brief segment, talking about a brief segment and a topic. Check it out. We'll read out some comments from there as well. But yeah, let us know what you think. And thank you so much. Appreciate for listening.